Security, management of data, ensuring data that comes through is reliable, consistent, and trustworthy. The data governance is super important because you need to get the security of your data correct, and you need to make sure that the actual data quality is correct. If you build a solution out right to the end and you don't look at data quality, the data that's going to come out of the system is actually not going to be correct. You need to build this into the solution before it goes live, because you cannot allow people to see data that is not relevant and that they can't access. What I really like about Fabric is the admin portal, for instance. So you can specifically go into workspaces and apply role-based access within there, which can group users together, specific users, so say finance users or HR users or operational users, and only allow those users to be able to see specific workspaces or specific pieces of data, which is really good for security. An administrator would have access to all data, but then you may have a data stewards or data owners or data analysts, for instance, and they can only see a specific subset of data. So it's important to define those up front so that when you do actually go live with the system, that the people can only see the data that they actually should be seeing. What we would do is we'd normally set up a workspace within Fabric, and then we would start setting up artifacts. So usually it'd just be an administrator to have access to the workspaces and the artifacts within those workspaces. And then as you build out and you start to bring in data, that's when you'd start to define who can actually see that data. So the admin would start to give access to data analysts, data engineers, SMEs. Sensitive data that needs to go into the cloud, I agree that, for instance, healthcare data, not all data should go into the cloud. Even though it's a secure public cloud, that would be keeping the data on-premise, keeping it secure, but only putting a version of that into the cloud. So that would be masked. Patient names, addresses, postcodes, that type of stuff would all be like masked to a certain level, and that way you would actually strictly stick to governance. The biggest mistake I see within data governance, especially around security, is not giving the least amount of privileges to a user. If the security is not actually managed correctly, users can be given too much access or too much privileges to see data. That would probably be a mixture of understanding from a business point of view who can see the data and what the lists are of who has access to data, but also ensuring that that list matches what's actually in Fabric as well. So does that list match exactly what access has been given in Fabric or in Power BI?